Good morning. Welcome to Let's Talk on the Second Chance. My name is Philip Jones.
My name is Tshifularo Cook, two-time kidney transplant recipient and founder of Kidney Care Coaches, where we coach people with stage 3 to stage 5 kidney disease. If you or you know someone who has kidney disease and they need help with their challenges, hit us up at kidneycarecoaches.com.
So today we have a very very big article to go over with everyone. Something we've touched on previously in our past show here on Let's Talk. And the name of this article is real short. Black surgeon successfully performs first ever transplant surgery to cure deafness. So we're gonna get into it. It says a pioneering surgical procedure using 3D printed middle ear bones developed by uh, Mashudu, I'm gonna leave right there, and his team at the University of Pretoria facility of health in South Africa may be the answer to conductive hearing loss, a middle ear problem caused by congenital birth defects, infection, trauma, and metabolic diseases. Sorry. The
Mhm.
surgery can be performed on everyone, including newborns. In March 2019, um, Professor Mashidu became the first surgeon in the world to successfully perform a transplant surgery that allowed a 35-year-old male recipient whose middle ear was completely damaged in a car accident to hear again. The procedure effectively replaces the hammer, anvil, and stirrup, the ossicles, which is the smallest bones in the body that make up the middle ear. 3D printing technology was used to print these bones and then used in the surgery to reconstruct the ossicles. The surgery simplifies the reconstruction of ossicles during middle ear procedures such as uh, osteoplasty
Oscar. Mhm.
and stabectomy in
Mhm.
order to increase chance of success with minimal intrusion trauma. In addition, uh, yeah, I'm gonna keep on go
Professor
back. Oh,
T.
Professor
We call him
Mashidu,
Professor T. Professor T.
Professor P.
T.
What was that? Professor T. Okay. Procedure reduces the chance of facial nerve paralysis, which can occur if the facial nerve that passes through the middle ear space is damaged during traditional surgery. 3D technology is allowing us to do things we never thought we could, he said. So, I mean, we again, like I said, we talked about 3D printed kidneys, what about a month ago, Cook, and you
Yep.
know, I mean,
Yep.
they're putting it into effect now, in a big way. I mean, to give somebody their hearing back after after something that crucial as a car accident like that, that's big time stuff. That's a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of dedication to making sure that it's done and done correctly. So my hat goes off to Professor T and his team for making that happen for that man. So Mr. Cook, what's your thoughts on this?
Again, my thoughts, you and I talk a lot off camera and things like that. What I liked about this article more than anything is they say anybody can get the transplant. Anybody can get this procedure, whether it's a newborn, whether you're old and you're hearing, you had hearing loss and you've been wearing hearing aids and things like that. You can get this procedure and this 3D printed. I'm telling you, man, in the real near future, I believe 3D printing is going to be the key. 3D printing could be the key to the point where we won't have to use anybody else's organs. We won't have to use anybody else's anything. We won't have to use xenotransplants. And with that being said, xenotransplants are coming, aboard right now. But I don't know if this is going to take place, later on in the future where it's 3D printing because we have the xenotransplants coming into play right now. and they want to give that some more pub and things like that. But the 3D printing to me is the way of the future. And the reason why I say that is because when you get a 3D printed organ, whether it's an organ, whether it's, a procedure like this, it's less invasive. And I believe in the organ procedure, they use your DNA where you don't have to use any anti-rejection medication, which is huge. Anytime you don't have to use any rejection medications and get the side effects of the cancerous problems that those medications, the side effects of those medications can be, which is can be it's cancer, you're winning. So I don't know how they have put all this into play. I don't. I know they don't want to cut the pharmaceutical companies out with the medications and things like that because everybody has to get. Everybody wants to make money off what they're doing, and everybody wants to get people healthy as well. But I believe 3D printing is going to be the future of everything. Where again, if you was to lose a finger, if you was to lose an arm or anything like that, they can, 3D print you an arm, 3D print you a finger, a leg, a foot, whatever. So to me, that's going to be the future. I know. Again, I'll say it again. What I liked about this is they said anybody can get this transplant. Anybody can get this procedure, whether you're a newborn and you don't, your hearing is not working. They can install this. Whether you lost your hearing in a tragic accident, whether you lost your hearing because you're older and you're just, the hearing went out, anybody can get this procedure. I feel that's big to me.
Yeah, and just like you saying how anybody can get it. Um, I a couple years ago I took sign language class, and we in this professor, that's a great professor. Always shows this one video in class, kind of an interact like it's a family and they have a mixture of uh deaf and hearing family. So some people can hear, some people are deaf and sign, right? And is there are I don't remember exactly the numbers, but there are a lot of children that come into the world deaf or have to deal with these pre-existing conditions that affect their hearing or could affect their hearing in the future. So to be able to, and 9 times out of 10, well, not say 9 times out of 10, sometimes they're able to detect when a child is going to deal with hearing loss or something in that area where they can say, okay, your son or daughter has what you have, because 9 times out of 10 it's something that's passed down from the parent. But they always do these checks no matter what. They always do these tests ahead of time just to make sure they can try to catch these things. But so if you already know this ahead of time, you can put all these things in place, before this child is, if you're able to catch it early, before this child even born, and say, all right, hey, 2 3 months down the line, we gonna have this procedure because I think a newborn, unless it's like an organ or something like that, to be able to cut in this area of the head, I think that's a little bit invasive. I think that's kind of, as I was to say, wait
I
till they
don't.
kind of get. I think you wait a little bit to
I don't think you
let
wait.
them get acclimated to who, where their surroundings and things like that. Again, it's America. We got got our own opinions
I
on a
believe,
lot of
I
stuff.
believe, I believe you need to do it as soon as possible. The reason why hearing is so important is because the hearing develops your speaking, and that's why you see so many people who are deaf that can't speak because they can't hear and they can't internalize words because they never heard words. So that's why you have to understand your subconscious mind has to hear these things, and that's how you get imprinted. So you shouldn't wait. I think a kid needs to do it right now as soon as possible because they're in a different process from 1 years old, from newborn to 5 to 7. That's when you're in your subconscious mind, so you're in the programming states of your life. That's why they say even a newborn can have it, and they would do it with a newborn. So if it was any kid of mine that had that problem, I want you to do the procedure right now. And the reason why is because When they're from 1 years old to 7 years old, they are in their subconscious mind. That means they're learning and taking in everything, and it's going to develop who they are for the rest of their life. So you shouldn't wait. This is the most this is the biggest time of a person's life when it's going to who they are going to be from newborn to 7 years old, and it's because they are in their subconscious mind right now. They're picking up everything. They're little sponges. They're listening. They're doing it all, and it's telling them who they be. If you wait, they miss that whole time. So it's to me it's super important to do it, and that's why they said even a newborn, because they know newborns need to start learning and hearing immediately. So that's where I'm at with
Well, I think the reason why they said it is because more or less going off of with when you have a child and a doctor suggests a cochlear implant, they usually wait a certain amount of time before doing that procedure and implanting that device into their
that. It's
head
not a
in
device.
that
It's just
area. So to
who says they usually wait though? Who says they usually wait?
I know they
I
would.
don't.
Again, I took the class, so and I've talked. Our
Okay.
professor has the knowledge and then along with the videos and stuff like that that we watched. They
Okay.
every child that's come up, they've waited a certain amount of time first before putting it in. They've never done it like as a newborn.
Okay.
So,
Then why
um,
would they say they could do newborns then, Phil? That's
well,
I'm just
the
questioning it
cochlear
basically.
is this procedure may be completely different from how to. I don't know the exact cutting methods and things like that, and how they put place the cochlear implant like that, nor how they do the procedure for the 3D printed ear canal, things of that nature. So it may be a difference to where it may not be as invasive as the way that procedure is done. So they may feel that it is able to be done as a newborn. What I'm not disagreeing with. I'm saying I think it should wait, but if you can't and it's going to be able to change a child's life, then do it. Again, like I said, we live in America. You got all right to make whatever choice you want to. So, but as long as the uh, what's the word I'm looking for? The I guess you could say, if it's just for the lack of conversation, the knowledge behind it and doing the research and stuff like that can say, hey, newborns can have it. I ain't got nothing to say. You gotta do what you
No,
gotta do.
I'm just
Right?
saying this. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying as far as because you might know more information on it than me. You said you took a class on it and everything. I didn't take a class. I'm coming from the aspect of when it comes to hearing, if again the subconscious mind, the kids are from 1 to 7 years old, they're sponges, and I would like a kid to learn as much as possible from hearing and things like that. And you know as well as I do, when you talk to somebody deaf, their vocals aren't right because they can't hear, so they can't formulate words. And
Mm-hmm.
from the standpoint of that, I would want, and the standpoint of the subconscious mind, I would want the kid to get it done as soon as possible. That's all I'm saying. So
Right. Yeah. No,
I
I
agree with
wasn't
you.
disagreeing with you either. I was just saying more or less for the doctor's more or less perspective. If they did the work and then not just saying it just to say it, then by all means, do what you gotta do. Save some lives and handle your business. I have no problem with it. Um, but again, this is a very big step in
Huge.
transplant to be able to
Mm-mm.
take something like that. And like you said, mentioned earlier, which I think is going to be the biggest thing for a lot of people is no transplant medication. That's one of the big reasons
No
why.
anti-rejection. Right.
Right. Yeah. No. Anti-rejection medication is one of the biggest reasons why people lose their kidneys because they stop taking them. They get tired of taking them, and But what was crazy is that they stopped taking them because they say, "Oh, I felt good, I felt great." Well, how do you think you got to that point? How do you think you
Hey
got? Don't you
man.
think you would want to continue doing what you did to stay in that? And I'm
Uh,
not, you know. getting on
Yes
nobody.
and no, because I was that kid. I was that kid that messed up. That went into rejection because I thought I felt good and didn't realize that the medications was making me feel good. That you're right. So I agree with you with that. And when you're 20 years old, 22, 23 years old, your ego, you're thinking you're fine, but
Right.
hey, you think you're fine just because you're fine. You don't know you're fine because of the kidney, because of the anti-rejection medications that are making you fine. So, yeah, I'm agreeing with you on that, bro. But this was a great article. Again, I think this article was really good because of simple fact. We're moving into other territories with transplant that we've never been in. And Phil, you and I, you've been having a podcast for a year. I've been on this podcast for probably 6 to 8 months, something like that. And man, what we're talking about, what we're finding in the world of transplant is astronomical. In the last 15 years, I can honestly say I've never seen so much innovation coming out. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, a lot has definitely happened, especially since in the past 12 years, since I've been back on dialysis and stuff like that, and just even the stuff around it, around transplant as well. A lot of things has happened, like uh, a combination of dialysis and transplant for kidney patients is now they start your timetable from the first day you get on dialysis. Before it was the first day you go on the list. So now, like me, I've been on 12 years. So, hopefully the next couple months when they put me on the list, I'll be wherever 12 years puts me, which is going to be pretty goddamn high considering the average wait time is 7 to 10. So, hopefully that works out. But, I mean, I am thrilled to see all these new things come about in transplant because uh, what that means is more people getting taken care of in these apartments related to transplant. So I was just talking to somebody about this the other day. We've had this conversation with a number of previous guests in the UK area about their opt out process of being, a donor. And I think that the US should make that adjustment and go to the opt out instead of staying with opt in because it'll definitely save a lot more lives to be, in that way. Our average wait time is 7 to 10 years. Their average wait time is 2 to 3.
Come on,
If
man.
if,
That
if
speaks for
y'all ain't
itself.
paying
That's
attention to
huge.
what's going on here, something wrong. We put new people in a position, but so hopefully, I have a good feeling these things that are coming down the pipeline now are going to make drastic improvement in a lot of areas, especially like I said, the wait time, and more people start getting these transplants, being able to live their lives, take care of grandchildren, take care of cousins and nephews and nieces, and uh, go to work and do all the things that they want to do that they may not be able to do because they may be in center hemo 3 days a week and don't have the energy nor the time to do any of the things that they normally get to do. Or people on home dialysis as well. It's a little bit they're a little bit more free than in center people, but they even have restrictions as well they have to deal with. So, excuse me. But yeah, great article. Tomorrow, Miss, what was the name of that article? You want to do tomorrow? You remember?
Uh,
I can see if I can
let
find it.
me. I apologize. I should have had it. Hold on.
No,
Let
you
me
good.
find it.
I can find it real quick. Hold on, I got it. It says 10 strangers come together for a life-changing kidney swap. So we've
Yeah,
touched
that's
on
the
that
one,
as
Victor.
well. In the past. So
We talked about another one.
yeah, it was at the 60 people, right?
Yeah, 60 people is what
Yeah,
it was, right?
yeah. So another great story on a kidney swap that's gonna come in tomorrow that we're gonna go over from and this is and this one started. This one's in Houston, so
Started in
it's good
Houston,
that it's
Texas. That's correct.
right. So we're gonna get into this tomorrow. We had some technical difficulties this morning, so that's why we were
Yeah, we
behind
apologize.
schedule and
Right.
we just, but Mr. Cook came through. We figured he's like, man, just send me another one. I'm like, all right, well, so we got it in. We was able to get the show done, which is always the goal. So again, thank you. If you're watching live or watching in the future or replaying or whatever, we appreciate you. Please like, comment, subscribe. Give us some suggestions on things to check into. We always want to,
Definitely, definitely. We love the feedback. We love the feedback of what you guys got to say, and we also love that give us some tips or some hints on like Phil said, well, we should you guys check this out. Talk about this. Talk about that. And talk about the latest things you hear in transplant. Hit us up and email us whatever you can, and let us know, so things that you guys want to hear about. We could talk about for sure. We could share.
also to piggyback off that, if you have something that you want to learn about, right? We possibly could find someone to come on and do a presentation on it. Like tomorrow we have our awesome renal slash dialysis dietitian Lindsay coming on tomorrow to do tomorrow night to do a presentation on what to know if you have CKD. So
Mhm.
this is sodium is a very important component to um, kidney disease patients' lives. That's one
Yep.
thing that we have to watch for sure is our sodium intake. So we'll get a great presentation from her. Ask her some questions. If you have come through, you may have some questions you may want to ask her. Because what I found out is that not everybody has the best relationship with their dietitian.
I agree.
You want to just go to them and ask them questions, or can go to them or get a hold of them and ask questions and things of that nature. So, it's not also just to put presentations up there, but to provide information and resources and things like that to you all. So, again, we appreciate your love and your support, and we'll see you in the morning.